Hey everyone, and welcome. Every developer's career really is a journey. It all starts with the code, right there on your screen, right? The daily puzzles, those late-night debugging sessions we all know and love. But it's more than that. It's also an ascent, a climb towards building incredible things, mastering your craft, and ultimately finding a real sense of purpose in the work you do. Okay, let's dive into this path, starting from the ground level and going all the way to the summit.
And that journey, it always begins right here, on the ground, with the code that's literally in front of you. This is the front line. And sometimes, let's be honest, the code itself feels like the enemy, a tangled mess that we call toxic code. So, let's start with a classic, a real pain point, that endless chain of if-else statements. Come on, we've all been there. It seems like such a quick fix at the moment, but it's a trap. It introduces this subtle venom into your code base. So what's the actual damage this is doing under the hood?
Well, this is kind of how that poison spreads. It's not just one thing. First off, readability just plummets. It makes maintenance a total nightmare. And that leads to the second problem. You can't reuse your own logic because it's all tangled up in these conditionals. Then, your business rules just can't scale. And finally, there's the personal cost we've all felt. Those sleepless nights, trying to untangle a labyrinth that we built ourselves.
Okay, I know this piece of wisdom might seem completely random, but it's perfect. Some combinations are just, fundamentally bad ideas. In our code, that explosive situation is software that's impossible to maintain. The smartest move isn't trying to fix the bad combination, it's avoiding it in the first place, by thinking bigger about our system's design.
So once we've started to clean up our code, we can finally zoom out. It's not just about fixing individual lines, it's about building a solid foundation. Let's move up to the blueprint and see how this all comes together, architecting for a future that is absolutely guaranteed to change.
For the longest time, the rigid client-server model you see on the left, that was king. But its flaws were huge, heavy client apps that were a nightmare to update, and all your business logic was locked into a single database vendor. The modern N-tier approach on the right just flips that whole script. By separating things into different tiers, clients become lightweight, business logic gets centralized, and, this is crucial, you gain the freedom to evolve, to swap out technologies as better options come along.
And the engine driving all this modern flexibility? It's REST. The key thing to get here is that it's a style, not some rigid, formal standard. By leveraging the language of the web that everybody already uses, HTTP and URLs, it created a simple, stateless way for any system to talk to any other system. And that simplicity is what allowed the explosion of interconnected services that we all rely on today.
But look, having the right technology is only half the battle. The other half is having the right mindset. And to really illustrate this, there is no better story than the incredible, and kind of cautionary, tale of the Choluteca Bridge.
You have got to hear this. So, in 1996, Honduras builds this masterpiece of a bridge designed to withstand any hurricane you could throw at it. 2 years later, Hurricane Mitch, one of the deadliest storms ever, just devastates the region. And the bridge, it stands perfectly. Not a scratch. A total engineering success. But there was one tiny problem they didn't anticipate. The hurricane was so powerful, it didn't destroy the bridge, it moved the entire river, leaving this perfect bridge just standing over dry land.
And this just brilliantly illustrates the point. They built a bridge for the river that was, not for the river that could be. A perfect solution to the wrong problem is completely useless. So the ultimate lesson for us as developers is that our systems have to be adaptable. We have to architect for change, because the landscape around us will always shift. Now, when you combine that clean code with an adaptable architecture, something amazing happens. You unlock the ability to build solutions that can go absolutely anywhere and do anything. This is where the real impact of our work starts to come to life.
And the possibilities are just vast. Your code can be the brains behind complex industrial automation, controlling precision machinery where reliability isn't just a nice feature, it's a mission-critical requirement.
That same code can then scale out and become the backbone of the internet, running on countless Linux servers. And this isn't some niche capability. We're talking broad support across the whole ecosystem, giving you access to all the powerful libraries you need to build really robust back-end services.
And finally, it all comes full circle, with that same logic powering applications on every single device that we carry around in our pockets. That's the power of a modern, multi-platform approach.
Okay, so we've talked about code, we've talked about architecture and applications, but none of that happens without the most important element of all, you, the developer.
This is where we shift from the what to the who, and we really look at the mindset of the creator.
Man, this is such a powerful quote for anyone in a technical field. It kind of speaks to the Dunning-Kruger effect. See, true expertise isn't about thinking you know everything. It's about being acutely aware of how much you don't know. It's all about humility and having that drive to just keep learning.
That drive has to become a real commitment to continuous learning, and it's not a passive thing at all. It's an active cycle. You go to formal training, but you also dig into the docs yourself. You get inspired by other people at conferences, and then you go home and apply those ideas. It's this constant loop of input and output that truly builds expertise.
And a huge part of that journey is self-awareness. So take a moment and ask yourself these 4 brutally honest questions. It's like a simple SWOT analysis, but for your career. What are you great at? Where do you really need to improve? What trends are out there that you can capitalize on? And what could put your career at risk? Just knowing the answers is the first step to taking control. This brings us to the peak of our ascent. We've mastered our tools, we understand our own capabilities, but there's one final piece of the puzzle, connecting all of it to a deeper meaning.
Think about this for a second. You probably know your company's mission statement, or at least its purpose. But have you ever actually sat down and defined your own personal purpose? What is the core reason you do what you do? Your personal purpose is built on your core values. It's the answer to the question, what truly matters to me? Is it respect and honesty in how you deal with people? Is it the elegance of simplicity in your work? Or maybe the stability you provide for your family? These aren't just abstract ideas. They are the internal compass that should be guiding every single career decision you make.
And so we end with the most important question of all. Look at your company's purpose and its values, and then look at your own. Are they aligned? Because when you find that alignment, when your work is a true expression of your purpose, that's when a job transforms into a calling. That's the summit.